Welcome, readers, listeners, and viewers to the latest version of 42 Stories Anthology Presents. I'm your host, Bam. Today we've got the person who made this cover you're looking at, Katya Brown. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, as I said, yeah, welcome. Here's our welcome page, and this is the logo we're going to use from the book. What's your impression of this as an artist?
It's a fun look. It's good to have all the 42s there and a nice spacey swoop, since I would assume most people picking up a book of 42 have a reference point of Douglas Adams' work. So yeah, I like it as a little spacey twist, referencing that with the 42s.
Yeah, a few people had submitted possible logos, and this one really stuck out to me because the author thought about Douglas Adams and the inspiration for this book, which I thought, and it's not enough to be copying. So,
Yep.
we can have
Yeah, it's not copying, but it reads as outer space, and so seems to fit that.
One of them was a whale, and that would have been copying.
With a bowl of petunias, right?
Yeah, actually, that's what it was. Yeah. The interview. No worries though. So this is going to be the bio. I'm going to go ahead and read off your bio, and let me know if I mess up. Katya recently returned to her home state in Iowa after 12 years in China. She is usually covered in cat hair. When not teaching, can't stop photographing interesting things such as 42s, as you saw from the cover. She does Chinese painting and calligraphy, as well as cross-stitching. Oh, nice. Okay, so you're still doing calligraphy.
Yes. Yep. I've managed to find a woman here that I've done a couple of classes with after my time in China, but mostly I just brought the things back so I can try to do it myself when I have time and keep working.
So she's the artist, not only of the cover, front and back, but also of the escape chapter, the impairment chapter, the parent chapter, the travel chapter, and the Western chapter. And I wanted to personally thank you for all of your help with the book. This is
I'm just
what you've done with
glad
the
I
book.
could be a part of it. Thank you.
All right. So let's start with the interview with sort of an icebreaker, kind of a deep question. What do you do about procrastination? It's kind of a big deal for writers and authors, artists, not authors. Well,
Yeah,
authors.
I wouldn't say I'm good at dealing with it. It hits me too much. I always like Douglas Adams's quote about it, that
Oh,
he likes the whooshing sound of deadlines as they go past. It's longer than that, but it's something like that. But yeah, I blame my cats, or do the various projects, edit photos, or cross stitch instead of doing what I really should be doing. So basically use the hobbies to get away from other things. Yeah, but I definitely haven't mastered stopping it.
uh, maybe we need some kind of whoosh sound effect so
Yeah.
that get people off it, the procrastination scale. Uh, well, what's your inspiration that takes you from that procrastination into work?
Um, I mean, when I get into something, I get really focused on it. In terms of photography, which is what is appearing here in this anthology for me, it's getting outside and traveling. I've been lucky to go a lot of different places in the world, and going to new cultures and new places with colors and people and customs really helps inspire to take photos and to try new angles. Also, I would set different challenges at times for photos, where I might go for a while trying black and white, or go for a while trying to only photograph a certain color or numbers of things. And then sometimes setting that, you get a bunch of bad photos, but you get some really amazing things too, if you're focusing in on something. So for the stuff that appears here, it was Douglas Adams and 42, that idea of this answer that nobody knows the question for, so it doesn't make sense, hit me when I read the book and stayed with me. And I would photograph 42s for years and years, and now finally found a place for them.
Yeah, a place with
Yeah.
a bunch of different answers too.
Yes. And on that note, where did you go? How did you get this anthology idea? with the 42s? What was your inspiration?
It's kind of a dark question. Thank you for that. But I had 8 back operations when I was younger, and the last 3, the doctor said to me, "There's a big chance that you're going to die." And he said, "You're going to either die, you're going to live and have leg problems, or you're going to be okay. But there's a chance that you could die after these surgeries. But if you don't have the surgeries, your back is going to fall apart and you're going to die." So, okay, I could have these surgeries or not. And during that time, my back was in a bad condition, and I was doing a lot of writing, and I was actually paying rent sometimes from my stories. And it was all thanks to writers helping me make my craft better, writers in university helping me make my writing clearer and stronger so that I could sell it. And I was really grateful. And I thought, I want to help writers too. And while I was recovering, I was also reading Douglas Adams, and I kind of put that together. Like I have if I live through this, I want to do something that helps writers. And how can I do that in one book? Oh, 42 words. And then I went 42 word stories in one book. And I thought 1,764 writers can fit in a book if it's 42 words. And I wanted to do that so that I could help as many writers as possible get published. If that
Great.
answered it, because I wanted to give back. Arnold
Uh-huh.
Schwarzenegger says that in his book, Be Useful. He says, if you're going to do something in life, do something that helps others. And so I had this idea to help others. And that was the theme. A lot of people thought, oh, this guy's cheesy, he's not real. It's real. The book's going to happen. And I really
Yes.
wanted to help people. Yeah, in short. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm happy to be a part again.
And my back's okay. I got through the
Good.
surgery.
Yeah, I hope so.
Not only that, but I can like what is it, deadlift a lot of weight. And so I'm not only like better, but I'm stronger. And the surgery's made me into kind of a bionic man of sorts. And I love
Awesome.
exercise and fitness from it. And I wouldn't have been into that without it, the surgery. So
Mm.
it made me better. Thanks for
But
the question.
yeah, if you make it through that kind of warning, well, it's possible death or possible death, then giving
Yeah,
your choices. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, thank you for turning that around on me.
Yeah.
I mentioned Douglas Adams inspired me. I noticed when we had written corresponding, you mentioned Douglas Adams as well, and authors and artists who inspired you. What do you have to say about them?
Yeah. So with the visual artists I responded with are Toulouse-Lautrec and Wu Guangzhong. And the thing with them, so it just has those photos is, and the authors that are some of my favorites, that they look at society in a different way, not just black and white, looking at problems with it and trying to look for solutions sometimes, even if it's fiction or just art, or just show you a part of society that people try to ignore and don't talk about, or colors. So for the visual artist, Toulouse-Lautrec does that with the people and from all walks of life that he would put in there, some of which may not be flattering portraits of them, but they're showing what he saw in them and showing different parts of society. And Wu Guangzhong changed up color a lot. His are more landscapes or architecture type drawings or buildings in scenes, and he adds a lot of weird colors that aren't really there but add to the painting that now many, many people copy his work and his style. It's everywhere in Chinese painting for that. For the authors, the same kind of thing. My favorites, one's looking to the future or looking at society and showing how somebody's not just perfectly good. They may have some problems with what they've done, or they're not perfectly bad. Here's some good aspects to them and showing those gray areas.
And the best part, I think, with our dual author, and I keep mixing up these words, is
Mhm.
this guy adds a lot of humor. So people can not only
Yes.
look to the future and to the problems that need fixing, but also laugh about it. And
Mhm.
that's what I think is so appealing about it, when you can make people laugh. Yeah.
Yep. While also pointing out something that's actually not a great part of our lives at times. Yeah.
Yeah. Humanity does do a lot of things that are necessary, and it's fun to just go, hey, I could just laugh at this and move on.
Mhm.
All right. But on that, what are 42 words of inspiration you'd like to share with other artists?
All right. Well, sometimes it takes the timing being right to push you to the next step. I took 42 photos as was drawn to the ultimate answer. After getting many people to associate me with 42, the timing worked to become involved in this anthology.
Oh, okay. Simple enough. That's what's great about the 42 word thing is you could make it simple and clear. And I think that's what you did with that. So,
Although I had to pre-write it because I'm not that clear in my writing or speech otherwise. So,
well, that's normal. And writers go through a million different drafts when they write things. So why wouldn't an artist have to go through a bunch of different versions of something as well? There's a painter, and you probably know better than me, that had to draw the same flower a bunch of times before having a good one. The yellow flower.
oh, I think I have heard that story, but I don't remember
It took years
the
and years.
source of that one.
Yeah,
I
but
think it's a big thing with teaching, and I see that now with students doing a
I'm
lot
glad.
of the technology, seeing the finished products and not always seeing the process. So I appreciate a lot of channels where they show the process or trying to make students understand how many drafts did this author get. Just your writing's not going to be this good, and that's okay. Theirs wasn't when they were your age either. Mine wasn't when I was nobody's was then. And they do it, try it again and again and again and again, and eventually they get there if they care enough.
Yeah, the only example people usually say is in music, and they go to Mozart, who was actually abused, and that's why he was sort of forced to do what he did. And it's
Mm-hmm.
one of the only examples people say where, well, this person got it early, and that's because they were forced to under torture.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people can do things like that, but it's more natural to have, and I think clearer to be able to work things out. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why your advice is really strong. Was there a question, by the way, that I didn't ask that you wanted me to ask?
Ah, yeah, with the short interview, why do I have that many photos of 42? Where I was able to come up with 42 for the front cover, 42 for the back cover, and then groupings of 4 and 2s for the side so that it hopefully draws people in from the spine for that. And it's basic, even a little before the digital photography era, I took a few 42 photos. They weren't very good and there weren't many because you had to use film and then pay to develop it later. But especially in the digital area, then if I saw a 42, I'd take a picture. And there's so many bad 42 pictures I've taken over the years that are not a part of this and I've deleted, but there it also meant there were so many to choose from when something like this came up. So I went, wait, it's 42 squared, 42 words of 42 stories in 42 chapters. It has to have 42 42s for this if I can do that, and I can. So
That's a great question that I wanted to ask. So, yeah, I'm glad that you let us know, and the at least the people who are viewing it by us.
yes, and listening can do that. So yeah, so 42s from all over where I've traveled, at least I think, spans
You said,
years, and a few continents worth of 42s are appear on the cover.
you mentioned most of them are from China.
Yes,
Okay.
majority are from China. I lived there 12 years. So there's a heavy number of 42s from Xiamen, China, a coastal city in China, as I spent a lot of time walking around there taking photos, but from many other places as well.
Okay. Well, I guess all I could say is, speaking of, you said Yemen, there's your photo you sent from
Oh
Yemen.
yeah, there is Xiamen, a
Excuse me.
view of it from Tongan looking across at the island district, because it's an island city, but some of the districts are off the island on the mainland. So a nice view, hills and ocean, and lovely. Go if you can someday, I would say to people. I loved it for 12 years. So
I'm probably closer than a lot of people viewing as I'm in Japan, so I think I'll go. Why not? Anyway, thank you. Yeah, yeah, and thank you for your time.
yeah, thank you.